first, by a show of hands, who is familiar with Circle? Okay, cool. Who is familiar with USDC? Awesome. Who is familiar with Circle's APIs and SDKs for developers? Exactly. Yeah, you work on those products, so you can't say that. So we're really excited to host this workshop and be a partner in this hackathon. First, I'll breeze through what I think we all already know. Well, first, let me actually introduce myself. My name is Jenna Teeman. I am on the developer relations team over at Circle, and I lead our developer relations programs, and I am based in New York City, so this was a very long trip for me, but I'm feeling good and I'm happy to be here. So first, as we all know, Circle is the sole issuer of USDC. USDC is a digital dollar that lives on the internet, that moves at lightning speed. And what are its core advantages? It has the stable value of the US dollar. So USDC is always redeemable, one-to-one to US dollars. It's internationally used. Circle is a highly regulated company. I have all of our licenses and linked here, but especially internationally here in Singapore, Circle is regulated by the Monetary Authority in Singapore. We have MTLs in all 50 states. And then I don't really need to cover the right-hand side about the blockchain efficiency. We all know blockchains move 24/7, speed of the internet, little intermediaries, low costs, excuse me, and real-time traceability. So what is the Circle platform? So at the base layer, we have USDC and EURC. So USDC, just talked about that, one-to-one to US dollars, powering payments and financial services. Excuse me. EURC is a euro stablecoin that's fully reserved and is always redeemable one-to-one for euros. Has everyone here heard of EURC? First time. So EURC actually back at ETHGlobal Brussels was now regulated by MiCA, meaning that EURC is now a regulated digital currency in the EU. That's a big deal. So now we'll talk about Circle's full stack developer platform for building on chain. So what does that consist of? It consists of our APIs and SDKs for developers to easily embed Web3 wallets, to easily deploy and manage smart contracts, and then also to easily move native USDC across blockchains. So first, we'll talk about programmable wallets, which are embeddable wallets that are flexible for embedding Web3 functionality, whether it's a Web 2 app or a Web3 native app. Then I'll talk about smart contract platform, which is allowing you to create, deploy, and manage smart contracts. And then I'll talk about CCTP, which is our cross-chain transfer protocol, which leverages like a native burn and mint mechanism for moving USDC across blockchains. So the way that we kind of like visualize this diagram here is that like our stable coins are the underlying infrastructure and the stable digital currencies for you to build, excuse me, within your application. But then we have this application layer tooling, which are the programmable wallet, smart contract platform, and CCTP that really kind of like unlock all this other functionality within your application. So first we're going to dive into Web3 services, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that because that's actually the bounty and the product line where we're offering the highest number of winners and the highest amount of bounties. And it's also like this is where, and this is why I asked that poll in the beginning of the workshop, because it is something that we want to be able to spread awareness that Circle is really focusing on this infrastructure and this tooling for developers outside of our open source stablecoins. So I'm going to go through the functionality of programmable wallets. What are the key benefits? So first, flexible key ownership. So really, programmable wallets has two core infrastructure models. We're saying it's developer-controlled wallets and user-controlled wallets. So what does that mean? It just means who has final say over the private keys and the end transactions. So for developer-controlled wallets, that is where that developer kind of controls their end user's private keys, whereas the user-controlled wallets, that is where the user does so by creating authentication questions, being able to abstract also the complexity of the blockchain away by not having kind of like the traditional private key management and making it more Web 2 user friendly. That's kind of a big point about our Web 3 infrastructure, is that one, it's for developers who also may not be familiar with building in Web 3, because all of our APIs and SDKs are in familiar programming languages. And two, it's to create a favorable experience for the end users. So, our developer controlled wallets, this can be embedded in a Web 2 app where end users don't even know that they're actually interacting with blockchain technology. So talked about the familiar tools. Multiple blockchain support, so this is really important. Our programmable wallets are live on Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, and Solana, with more to come. So ultimately, the direction that we're moving is like, we want Circle's products live on like every blockchain that USDC is native on. So we're continuing to, and it's more of like programmable wallets is like build once and deploy across multiple blockchains. Advanced security, so our programmable wallets are MPC infrastructure. And what's really important too, from a user experience perspective, is we have something called a gas station. So that's where that gas fee abstraction is. And what that means is like, you can set up gas policies to sponsor gas fees for your end users. So this is back to like us really abstracting the blockchain away by allowing, that really favorable end user experience, but also for the developer to actually choose, how much of those gas fees or what are those limits that they want to set to sponsor on behalf of their end users. And then simplified management. So this is something that we'll link in the resources section, but basically like we have something called a developer console where you will create a developer account, and it's this really robust dashboard where you can manage all the transactions within your application. You can manage your wallet activity. You can troubleshoot all issues. It's just like a really comprehensive dashboard that you can manage all of your wallet infrastructure, in addition to actually using that as a front end to deploy your smart contracts using our smart contract platform. So this is just a little breakdown of the developer controlled and user controlled. I feel like I really went through this, but we do have SDKs, server and client side SDKs for both of these wallet infrastructures. We also have quick start guides that really go through like building with both dev controlled and user controlled wallets. So as well as like video tutorials that literally can get you up and running with both of these wallet infrastructures in under 30 minutes. And you guys have 2 days, so that's great. You'll have a lot of spare time. So smart contract platform, so that is that centralized dashboard within our developer console that allows you to import your custom smart contracts, to deploy them directly through the dashboard and actually manage them. Something that's really interesting about our smart contract platform too, which is more on this slide, is that we have pre-audited smart contract templates, meaning that like we went out and said like what are the most common use cases from a smart contract functionality perspective. Airdrops, token transfers, NFTs. So we have pre-audited smart contract templates that are already live within our dashboard that you can kind of just like copy, paste, and deploy within your application directly from our developer console. And then also, from a blockchain standpoint, our smart contract platform is also live on multiple blockchains right now. I believe it's Polygon, Ethereum, and soon to be NAVX, may or may not be Avalanche. I see the engineering team just like whispering blockchains to me. Team effort, everyone. All right, so our programmable wallets and smart contract platform. So like this is the umbrella of our Web3 services. Okay, so this is like this also from a pricing standpoint. It depends on like how much wallets you're planning on deploying, and what's also great about Circle and our Web3 Services product line is we're offering a credits program to developers where so right out of the gate when you deploy to mainnet, there's a certain percentage of API calls and gas fees that Circle automatically sponsors. And then we also have a credits program for developers that we're seeing getting up and running on mainnet we are kind of offering as like an ongoing support as we see them continue to build. Okay, cross-chain transfer protocol, so CCTP. So that is this native burn and mint mechanism that is live on 8 blockchains, which means that it's enabling interoperability for 56 routes. So CCTP is not a bridge. If anything, it avoids some of the bridge risks from lock and mint mechanisms. So essentially what's happening with CCTP is, using this example of Ethereum to Solana, we are burning the native USDC that is on Ethereum, and then we are reminting it on Solana using Circle's attestation service, since Circle is the issuer of native USDC. So next, I'm just going to breeze over like what are the solutions and experiences that we've seen through from developers, from enterprises that can be improved by integrating USDC. So these 3 solutions are dollar access, cross-border payments, and DeFi. So dollar access, in markets where they have more inflationary currency, where there is value for holding funds in dollars, we've seen a lot of applications really relying around providing their end users access to dollars. So that's something that even we've gotten a couple of questions today so far, is that kind of being like a core goal and objective of like what is the benefit to their end user, and that's where USDC comes in, obviously, and also our programmable wallets infrastructure and being the core source for actually holding those dollars. Next, there's cross-border payments. So as we all know, with the core benefits of the blockchain, how cheap and fast money can move, USDC plus programmable wallets and even CCTP can power so many applications that are really focused on moving money by removing intermediaries and a lot of the fees that go along with them. And then DeFi. So, being able to provide lending opportunities for, especially in regions where users may not have a bank account, being able to kind of leverage our wallet infrastructure and USDC is kind of like the core underlying powering of these DeFi solutions. And then also we're seeing a lot of I've been seeing a trend on decentralized AI, especially around DeFi as well. So I think one thing we've been seeing in a lot of hackathons too, through all of these solutions, is using USDC in our Web3 infrastructure, but also how AI can help be a really perfect complement to these solutions as well. We've seen messenger chatbots in Telegram. We've seen a lot of lending protocols leveraging AI. And a lot of gaming too. So I think what will also be helpful as you all get inspired around the use case stuff is myself and Blessing, who is on my team, create actually a video, and my dog actually makes a cameo in it, of all the different examples of what we've seen and hackathon winners that have built applications for each of these 3 use cases. Okay, prize pool information. So we're getting to the good stuff now. So these are our problem statements. We made them pretty straightforward, and they're really just focused on what Circle product you choose to build with. So first, one of our bounties is building just with one of our open source stablecoins, so USDC and EURC, and that is a $1,500 prize paid in USDC. And then we get a little bit more complex to our more advanced developer tooling. So second is build with cross-chain transfer protocol, and that is a $2,500 prize, and that is an application leveraging CCTP to move USDC natively. And then 3, build with Circle's Web3 services. So this is where we actually have 3 bounties, each at a different level, depending on, how you're using the application and how kind of the judging framework is. But it's built with programmable wallets and our smart contract platform. And like I said earlier, this is Circle's emphasis into really providing that tooling and infrastructure for developers and really making it like a complement to all of our open source protocols. And that's why we're really focusing our bounties on seeing how you are leveraging this new product line of ours that we're actually really excited about. Key resources. So this should all be linked in our bounties page. We've got all of our developer docs. We also have those interactive quick start guides, which are really comprehensive. And then we have our SDK documentation, our sample apps on GitHub, video and blog content. Check out our YouTube channel. We have so many really in-depth tutorials around how to build these solutions and blog posts around actual guides that walk through our documentation start to finish to show how you build some of these real-world solutions. And if anyone has any question about any of these resources, our team is more than happy to answer. And then lastly, we have a developer survey. So alongside your submission, we want to hear your feedback. Like I said, this Web3 Services product line is something that we are super excited about, but we also want feedback as we continue to launch our wallet infrastructure on more blockchains, as we continue to add more features and functionality. Tell us what you want to see. We have our product team here that I might, drag you over to and actually have you tell him directly. And this is also a huge reason why we're here, to help understand what key use cases, are relevant in this market and relevant for your business, as well as how our products and our developer tooling specifically solves your problems. And then last, I will end it with an inspirational quote. We are at the forefront of rebuilding the internet right now, and we're all really here to innovate with you all. We're all really passionate about this space and educating each other, and just encourage you to come to our booth, ask us questions. We're all just really here to help inspire each other. So thank you for being here.